Greetings and welcome to this seminar about franchising during the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm your host for this session and my name is Chris Wilson. I'm a multi-unit franchise owner in the boutique fitness space, and I'm also the president of Legacy Franchise Ventures, where I help clients find and research franchise opportunities that meet their needs. I'm excited about this session and hope you enjoyed the presentation. Today, we'll talk about the effects COVID has on franchising, as well as walk you through the business ownership considerations. We will also talk about risks, myths, and how to identify the best franchise opportunities for you. So let's jump right in. The devastating effects of the spread of the coronavirus on the global economy have been indisputable. The stock market has plummeted, leading to unprecedented intervention by the Federal Reserve. Many restaurants, bars, and entertainment businesses through the country have closed voluntarily or have been ordered to close by local or state authorities. Non-essential businesses have been asked to take every available precaution to help flatten the curve, to slow the transmission of the virus, particularly to the vulnerable citizens whose health is most at risk. As a result of this crisis, businesses across the country that were thriving and planning for expansion only weeks ago may now be threatened with closure due to government direction or collapsing revenues. According to a March survey conducted by the Institute for Supply Chain Management, nearly 75% of companies reported supply chain disruption in one form or the other due to coronavirus-related transportation restrictions, and that number is projected to rise. Unfortunately, half of these companies have no semblance of a contingency plan. If there's any good news, is that we've been here before. We've seen things like this, whether it's the dot-com bust or 9/11 or the Great Recession. Today, the challenge is COVID-19. We're living through a difficult time, there's no doubt about that, and most indications suggest that it may get worse before it gets better. However, my argument is that it's still a good time to do some research. Deciding to make an investment in franchising is a life-changing event, but it doesn't happen overnight. So it's important to take prudent approach to decision making and conduct the right amount of due diligence. The key point is that even in the most trying of economic times, there may be situations that you can take advantage of to put yourself in position to be your own boss. Data from a major trade outfit conducted a survey and asked questions about investor confidence in today's climate. 54% think that now is a good time to start a business, while 59% expect to start a business within the next 3 months, an additional 17% within the next 4 to 6 months. 40% believe that business conditions will improve in 3 months, while 24% expect them to worsen. Only 18% have put the search on hold. Searching for an opportunity is not the same as committing to a purchase. Unlike the previous economic downturns, we are faced with a unique experience when the majority of us have been asked to work from home. Perhaps that reality is the reason why you're even able to attend this webinar today. This is an opportune time to start researching franchise concepts. Most likely you're going to fit in one of 3 major categories. The first, of course, hit the brakes, totally understandable. This opportunity isn't for everyone. The second group of folks want to just tap the brakes, maybe proceed with caution, get some clarity or understanding around what their options are. And the last group of people is say, this is the time, let's go full speed ahead. Let's take advantage of opportunities, some of which might include lower interest rates right now, increased vacancies, lower costs, and a huge economic opportunity on the other side to look forward to. So the plan is to prepare now and take off when you're ready for flight. When we ask potential business clients about why they're considering business ownership, there are some of the most frequent responses. When I started researching personally, independence and control were the major talking points for me. The part that stings is that I worked in sales and was laid off once or twice, 3 times actually. And it wasn't because of performance. Someone in an office somewhere made a decision that affected employees in an instant. I immediately wanted more control over my finances and my future. There has been a rise in business ownership over the last couple of years. Business owners are trending upwards. There's somewhere in a range of just under 30 million small businesses. 65% of those businesses have 1 to 4 employees, and a fifth of those are family owned. This is based on data from SBA.gov. Whenever considering an investment, you have to be able to accurately assess risk. How much does it cost? Is now the right time? Where do I start? What talents do I need to be successful? When we think of risk as it relates to jobs, we often think of keeping our day job as a safe move. But how do you really ensure job security? Are you saving enough to live comfortably in retirement? And as time goes on, the risk of depending on a day job increases. Risk for business ownership is the inverse. Amount of Considerable amount of risk in the beginning, but that risk decreases over time because you can't be downsized, transferred, or fired. You have the ability to grow at your own pace, and in addition, to help mitigate that risk, we can focus on opportunities with specific market characteristics that help increase the chances of success. I like to look for what I call recession resistant businesses. Let's work together to find a business that thrives in all, if not most, economic conditions. Financial experts will tell you that an economic downturn happens every 10 years or so. Based on demographics, essential services or business to businesses tend to be safer bets. There are a number of businesses that are still in operation today in the midst of a global pandemic. These essential businesses are excellent options as they can check the box for recession proof as well as pandemic proof. So we're talking about businesses like senior care, anything car maintenance related. Children still need tutoring. I mean, it might be via Zoom or GoToMeeting or any other of those avenues. Bugs still need to be sprayed. So a bunch of businesses that are prime for this opportunity. There are normally 3 paths to business ownership. Each come with their own pros and cons. What really matters is what's best for your personal situation. The first one we'll discuss is starting your business from scratch. That gives you total control. You make all of the decisions, you create the systems, but have limited financial options and a higher failure rate. The second way is to buy an existing business. In some instances, this is great because you can have immediate cash flow on day one. You have actual financial results and metrics, which makes it more attractive to lenders. The only issue is that you don't have a great mechanism to evaluate potential issues, and you don't always know the seller's motives. Buying a franchise is the third option. Franchises provide proven business models, systems, training, a lower failure rate, increasing financing options, and a term that we call validation. It is more structure, but you have less control, but there are royalty payments. Let's review some franchise or formal definitions to begin. A franchise is the creation of a distribution channel to build brand dominance and attain market dominance quickly. The distribution channel literally goes from the franchise headquarters to the franchise operator and down to the customers. A franchise allows you to use a license, name, trademark, and business systems in exchange for an initial franchise fee and ongoing royalty payments. One of the many benefits of franchising is the government regulation and disclosure of information pertinent to the franchise company. Yearly, franchisors are required to update a document called the Franchise Disclosure Document, or FDD for short. The details are involved with what's running the business, what litigation, what bankruptcies any involved parties might have gone under, and what the cost to do the business is. The document also includes legal obligations concerning territory requirements, how to renew, terminate, or transfer the franchise, and overall information about the financial performance of the corporation. The validation process allows you to contact current and past operators to find out how business is going, how long it took to ramp up. You can look at trends on how long it took the business to get profitable across different states, cities, and demographics. You can find out data on the responsiveness of the franchisor, as well as build a network of fellow business owners in your space with whom you can share best practices and considerations. When buying an already existing business, you often don't know the true motives of the seller and have to trust that the books haven't been cooked. The franchise valuation process can prove invaluable for a prospective buyer. Let's take some time to review 4 popular franchising myths. The first being that franchising is only fast food and retail. Right off the bat, when asked about franchising, most people will think about McDonald's or a number of other fast food or retail outfits. The reality is there are a considerable amount of options available in other industries. There are over 3,000 different franchises to choose from, and this graphic details each category breakdown. As you can see, full service restaurants make up 5% of all franchises, with quick service restaurant options another 20%. The second myth we will discuss is that franchises succeed because of the quality of the product. The product is really a small piece of the equation. Long story short, McDonald's doesn't make the best hamburger, Pizza Hut doesn't make the best pizza, and Kentucky Fried Chicken doesn't make the best chicken. What they have in common are systems and processes in place for marketing, sales, operations, and accounting. The product is really a small piece of the equation. Myth number 3 is that successful franchises emerge in new industries with no competitors. The reality is that competition is good. Franchise concepts arise from well-established industries. The franchise creates consolidation, and competition means there is a market for the product or the service that you will be selling. Franchises do not enter competition where there is no competition. McDonald's was not the first to market for hamburgers. They saw a need and developed systems to help meet the demand. Myth number 4, I was guilty of myself. I had the crazy idea that I had to be a millionaire before even thinking about franchising. There are some concepts that require high individual net worth for sure, but let's concentrate on some of the others. As you can see from this graphic, there are a considerable amount of available franchises that do not require a high initial investment range. So if you're not a millionaire, there's no need to turn off the webinar. You can still stay with us. So the question then becomes, how much do I need? Some people also believe that the investment must be totally liquid. In most cases, with good credit and proper collateral, you can secure financing for a franchise opportunity with about 25% of the total investment down. We work closely with banks and other lending institutions that specialize in funding franchise investments. There are a number of ways to finance a franchising opportunity. Most candidates will rely on one or more of the items listed here. It's usually a combination of personal savings or some sort of line of credit. In addition, some clients choose to use retirement funds, which can be done with no penalties or tax implications. If you would like to discuss some of the financing options, please let me know. The franchisor has done the market research and now has in hand a repeatable formula for success. So the franchisor will train you on how to use the system. They, in return, want business owners who are going to use the system while focusing on being an owner. Most will require business and management skills as well as communication skills. They don't want you to reinvent the wheel. They've done the legwork. They want you to follow the plan. There are a number of transferable skills that franchisors will expect you will bring to the table. In most instances, you have honed these skills over the course of your career. Don't worry if you don't have all the items depicted here. Part of the matching process is to match you with the franchise that complements you in areas where you may be weak. Let's move on to discuss types of franchise ownership. It can be very difficult to maintain other employment when you're doing an owner-operator business model, because you'll spend the majority of your time managing and working on site in the business. You have more control over the way the franchise functions, as you are central to all functions of the business. You can handpick a team of support staff to assist as the business scales, and through close supervision, you can make sure that the business runs the way you see fit. Owner-operator models normally require a lower investment level, as the money spent on a manager or staff can go right back into the business. Some popular segments for this model include cleaning services, home repair, and other maintenance or financial services. A popular method is semi-absentee or passive ownership, where an owner runs the business but hires staff to handle the day-to-day operations. This can be attractive because you're not required to leave your current job and can own a business providing additional revenue and security or incorporate the business as an exit strategy. Some clients who have been downsized find this option attractive, especially when there is a severance package from their previous employer. Semi-absentee models allowed you, the owner, to successfully operate the business while maintaining another career or obligation. There will be considerable effort required in the beginning to get the business up and running, but after the ramp-up period and the business is established, you might only need to put in, say, 10 or 20 hours per week. Typically, this model is a higher investment than owner-operator investments because there may be a need for a physical location as well as staff to handle operations. In many cases, you will have to spend on advertising dollars to help market the business. Some popular segments for semi-absentee models include hair, beauty, fitness, and wellness. Let's discuss royalties. Royalties are a trade-off. You exchange some profits in the long term for risk reduction in the short term. Good franchise companies have made significant investments in market research, demographic studies, as well as in the formulation of operations systems and processes. In the beginning, you will require training and other resources because you are new to the system, and as time goes on, your dependence on those things will decrease. So in short term, the franchisors lose money, but they'll make money over the long term with the royalty payments. How do you go about finding the perfect franchise? To find the perfect franchise, you must find a concept that you're willing to follow the system. Of course, it must be in your budget and within your personal risk acceptance level. And lastly, it should be a business you will enjoy running. To assist with finding the perfect franchise opportunity for you, we use a proprietary profiling tool which employs a scientific approach to business building. We ask questions that help establish your individual values, motives, and core competencies, and then use that data to match you with a franchise opportunity that meets your needs. If you would like to get started by either having a free consultation to discuss your options, or if you're interested in complimentary access to the Business Builder Profile tool, please visit our website at legacyfv.com or send me an email at chris@legacyfv.com. I thank you for your time and look forward to working with you.